No? It's okay?
No.
Okay, welcome to the last GA plenary session. Woo! Yes, we are almost at the end. I know you are a bit hangover, but just get through and we will be quick and we have like fun things. So let's start with the agenda. Okay, today's agenda is the first is IFSA Excellence Awards. We have some nominees for these and we will tell you the results. And the discharge of previous officials. And then following that, announcing the results of the voting 3, which is for the IFSA board and heads of commissions. And we will also have a presentation from the next year IFSS OC, which is Germany. So, woo! And we will also have an open mic session for the plans of next IFSA term, where we will also talk a bit more about the new IFSA strategy, since we didn't have much chance to talk about on the first session. And lastly, we will close the GA. So let's start. Yeah. Okay, so we are starting with the Excellence Awards. It's one of the first this year. Our dear internal counselor has organized it, and we had some nominees from the local committees and from the members. So let's figure out who won the awards.
Yeah, I would vote for the mountain.
Yes. So let's start with what are the IFSA Excellence Awards. Yes. Since we are a student-led organization, it's also important to reward our work completed throughout the year and also highlight the accomplishments, as we have members from all around the world. And every year IFSA officials are awarded for Official of the Year, but we wanted to expand this in the whole community level. So let's begin with the first awards. So we have the categories for Outstanding IFSA Local Committee and Outstanding LC Project of the Year. So let's start with the Outstanding IFSA Local Committee. So drums, please. Yeah, so it's the highest honor received for a local committee, and it's nominated by other local committees, so it's a great honor to receive this. So we can go to the announcements. Yeah.
But I'm afraid we have connection issues.
Huh?
No, wait.
Why it's not working?
Yes.
Yeah, no, it's the LC project. Come on. Technical break. Spoiler alert.
Don't ask me why it's not here.
What?
Don't ask me why it's not here.
How come?
Anyway, I know the result, so...
Yeah.
You can announce it.
Yeah, you can announce it.
Okay, so we have technical problems. We have technical problems, but anyway, I know the result. So, drum roll. And the winner is Elsie Chaupe from Mexico.
Oh, well, so in name of my LC, I'm now the treasurer, but I'm so happy to be here. We have a lot of work in this year because we want to make a change in our country, in our university, and we want make this feeling for the love of Mexico, a love for the nature, love for the forest, and love for us. So, thank you. I'm so happy. Jasmine, thank you for all your work in for Chaupea, and thank you again. Yeah.
Of course.
Hey everyone, I'm gonna make it short, but I want you all to know a little story that started with LC Chaupea. Back in 2018, I met two members of the LC that many of you might know, Yvette and Braulio, and they got me really excited about IFSA, so I started a local committee in OSU, and then gave a call to Pipe, and he started the local LC, the first one, in Chile, and then started passing the torch slowly because it's always hard to motivate people. And he was able to attend a couple of IFSS, then got Tommy excited, then Agustin, and then, you know, all the ripple effect, and now we are all here. So thanks, LC Chaupea, because you are the reason we are here.
Yeah. Yeah, once more, big congratulations and keep up the good work, as always. And now let's move to Outstanding LC Project of the Year. So drum rolls again, even though you sing it. Philippines! For the Philippine Forestry Youth Summit. I had the chance to have a look at the process while they were planning this. So they had huge effort in this, so I'm really happy to see them getting this award. But unfortunately, they're not connected here with us, so we can't have a speech, but that's fine. And we have the certificates. Yes. Yeah, now it's. And maybe we can have a picture, like, with you and. No? Yes. Later.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, let's move to GA's
Another
slides.
technical break.
Yeah. Technical break. Okay, anyway, so while the slide is loading, the next point was the discharge of the officials. So, yeah, it's coming. So as we have mentioned previously, we had 50 plus officials that are working for IFSA throughout the year, and just their efforts are, yeah. Their efforts are so big, they are giving their times from studies, from work, from meeting family and friends. And they have worked so hard to make amazing projects for the whole IFSA community. So big applause for all of the IFSA officials. And it's said Elif for discharge. Yeah. So now let's open a new chapter and move on to the new officials. So we're starting for the voting results with the IFSA board. So voting results are number of LCs voted, 34 LCs has participated in the voting, but there were eligible 71 votes, which is a bit sad that not everyone has voted. but the percentage was 48%, so we have the quorum reached. So let's start. New P. Yeah.
Thank you, Elif. First of all, thank you all. Thank you, the board, for organizing this, for maintaining IFSA alive even in those times of struggle of COVID. Also, the OC, only representative awake there, Amanda, for making all these things possible. It's been a crazy amount of work, and for us, it's really inspiring to be enjoying IFSA with all of you guys here in Chile. I hope we can keep doing this, and that throughout this term, with all the new board that we are going to be electing today, we are able to keep passing this torch, as Claudio said, and moving this, creating this movement so it can keep going through generations. We are already on our 50th GA. I hope we have 50 more. I send the best of luck to Germany OC. Really looking forward to be with you there and seeing you, all of you guys, again in Germany. Yeah, this term we have a lot of challenges, of opportunities. Things are starting to go back to normal. So it's our role and our opportunity to be able to represent you guys, to share your voice, the things that you want to know. So I just would like to let you know that from my side at least, my phone or my email will be always open for any inquiries you ever have. If you want to reach out for anything, please do. I know we are going to have a really strong team, Steve, Nora, and Joanna, and other board members if they get elected. We are going to only one participant per position. But yeah, looking forward to working with you and to making IFSA really good again. And hopefully for next year we have much more applicants for these positions. I encourage you to run for these positions, to take responsibility. All of us started from nothing, without even knowing what IFSA was 2 years ago. Now we're involved, we've organized this. It has been crazy, tiring, but also it made me learn a lot at least. A real kick of humility has been being here and not being able to achieve everything that we would have loved to. But yeah, looking forward to keep growing with this association and also sharing this knowledge with all of you guys and representing IFSA's voice in as many spaces as we can. Thank you.
Before going, maybe we can have a picture with X and new president. Can you come for a picture? Yeah. Yeah. On the yeah.
The torch. Oh, you want me to give it to you?
Good. Yeah. And now we are moving to vice president. So drum rolls.
So I want to start by saying that I think this new term is going to be an amazing one because of this transition that we are doing back to normality and including hybrid events. I think it's a huge step and we can make it possible. As we saw on like the first day of Congress, that we had in-person people interacting with online people and having great discussions. I want to add to Agustin's words about support. You guys can find my number, email, and I can answer pretty much 24/7, as some of you may already know. So it doesn't matter the time. There's a slight chance I might reply. Yeah, I think that at the internal level, IFSA always works hard to make sure that we are continuously growing, making sure that more people know who we are, what we do, and also increasing our membership, to say it in a way, with the regional representatives and everything. So, yeah, I just want to appreciate each and every single one of you for all the support, and let's hope that this new term brings even more opportunities, and let's continue building a world that appreciates forests. Thank you.
Now we are moving on with the executive secretary. So drum rolls. Johanna!
I was not prepared to give a speech or anything, but thanks to everyone. And I mean, I can only join Augustine and Steve that I think it's going to be an amazing year because we have amazing people now on board, in the direction, in the entire board, in the officials, everyone here. I mean, it's not only about the officials, it's also about the LCs. Everyone in the LC is doing an amazing job and an amazing amount of work, which is not something that we always see a lot when we talk within the officials. So I think it's also something that we have to acknowledge that, yeah, everyone is doing a lot of work. And yeah, I think it's going to be a great year. I'm really happy to help support IFSA, and I'm looking forward to it. And of course, I'm also always reachable, just, yeah, email or text or call or anything. I'm always up to that. Thank you.
Picture. Actually, I'm not sure which one is the next. Internal? Treasurer, okay. Okay, so now we are moving on to the treasurer. Drum rolls. Don't mind the slides.
Yeah, hi guys, I'm gonna keep it very short. Thanks for electing me. I know you didn't have much of a choice, but still, I'm really glad to be here, and I think, yeah, it's gonna be a really good term. Lots of work is coming our way, but I'm really confident that we can do it, and that we, yeah, have a fun and productive term with the board. I think we can be a really good team. And yeah, from my side, it's going to be a lot of learning by doing, but I'm motivated, and yeah, let's see what the time brings, and I'm excited.
Microphone.
Put it together. Okay.
External or internal? External. Okay, now we are moving with the external counselor. Unfortunately, our external counselor is not present here with us. And also, Vova. participation on the first session. He was a very active official with the Partners Commission this year, and I'm really excited to see his work for the upcoming year with the external department. So big congratulations to Vova. And now we are moving on with the internal department, internal counselor. So another drum rolls, please. For internal counselor, we had two candidates. The first one was Belle, who is the current internal counselor, and the second one was Jasmine. The voting was very close, but the now winner is internal counselor Belle. So big congratulations to Belle, and keep up the good work as she had this year. Yeah. Okay, now we are moving to MC. So drum rolls.
Thank you everyone for re-electing me. I'm so excited about it. And I just can promise you that I will keep trying my best in the work. I will especially want to focus on reactivating in Northern America and African region, and to get involved African regions more in IFSS's global activities. And yeah, I'm really excited about the new term and also about the now ending or now just ended term. It was really great, and it will be also great next year. So thank you.
Great. Are you going to focus on memes?
Yeah, on memes, of course, as well, as a membership controller as well.
Okay, now we have completed the board. Let's move on to the heads of commissions.
Hi everyone. I'm so glad that I can be the next head of Comcom, so that we can work together with everyone to share like any information in IFSA, so that you can feel more involved in IFSA with all the members all around the world. So I love you guys.
Thank you. So let's move to the next head of commission. The head of IPC, Esha. Maybe you would like to say some words about IPC, or? Yeah. No? Okay. So we are moving on with the Partners Commission, which is Freddie. So big congratulations. Yes. And lastly, we have CDC, Capacity Development Commission. Unfortunately, we still don't have any candidates for this position. So Simone wants you in IPSA. Yeah. So let's move on. Yeah.
No, we can do it.
Okay.
No.
Ah. Oops. Oops. There should be a like filler slide, but. Next, IFSS OC 2024 Romania.
Well, thank you very much to you all. But me being Romania being the first does not mean that Slovakia is not great. So think about that in the future. It's gonna be an honor, and it's gonna be the first big IFSA event done in Romania. So I'm very happy to be part of that, to show all of you that we are united, we are a strength, like the river, like the forest, and we have to stay together. So I hope that I can show you what nature means in my country, at least. Thank you very much.
So big congratulations to Romania. We all really look forward to go to IFSS in Romania, and also congratulations to Slovakia, even though, yeah, for the amazing presentation. For the all hard work. Okay, so now we have finished with the voting results. Let's move on. Yeah, welcome to the new board and heads of commissions. Too much clapping. Yep. And now we are giving the words to the next IFSS OC, Germany.
Okay, so thank you. As you know, we are having the next IFSS in Germany, and yeah, I'm going to tell you a little bit about what we have planned already. This is our logo, designed by our own Elif, so that's pretty cool. And the main topic is going to be the transformation of forests, because climate change is coming. To what degree is still unknown, but it's definitely coming, and so we need to ready our forests for this new challenge. Please, next slide. Yeah, the dates are, the IFSS is going to be from the 16th of August to the 1st of September 2023. There's going to be a small pre-tour and an after-tour, but you will get that in the invite. Yeah, the topic I already shared with you, and as we learned in the discussions during this IFSS, the main problem with challenges in the forestry is to have the research that is the basis for the decision making in scientific processes. And we have the luxury and the privilege, actually, to look upon years and years of research that has been conducted and collected in our universities and in our country, and we will really be happy if we are able to share some of it with you that you can take home and maybe do whatever you want with it for a better purpose. Yeah, so this is your organizing committee. We have as a head of OC Alina, maybe a little bit of applause for her as well. And myself, then you have the different teams, the finance team, communications team, logistics, and activities. And we have some more members on the next slide, just so you know some faces. Even though it's all right. We don't have pictures from everyone because it's still growing a little bit from the helper side. So yeah, this is going to be your OC, sorry. And Now we go to the interesting stuff. Where are we going to go in Germany? We have a route planned starting from Eberswalde near Berlin. You can see the route there, going through Tarent, Erfurt, Bayerischer Wald, which is a big national park forest in Bavaria. Freiburg, LC Freiburg is here. Bonn for our international partners. Göttingen. Nice. And back to Eberswalde. For those who don't really know the proportions, this is Central Europe, and you can see the neighboring countries for those who don't always have a map of Europe in their mind, which is normal, to not have it. So, continue. Yeah, we have a preliminary finance plan. Our plan is to have this funded until autumn, basically, mostly, until the end of autumn. We're currently already in discussion with a lot of people, but still it's a little bit changing. Depending on what money we get, the numbers can vary. So please bear in mind that this is currently planning for 90 participants plus the OC. But depending on the money we will get, we hopefully will be able to put it to a higher number. Or if we don't get enough funding, we might have to cut it. So just that you are aware of that. And yeah. This is our budget. As you know, the participation fee varies from the income countries. It's the same with 350, 250, and 100, 450. This will all be declared in the open call as well. So yeah, this is the amount we plan with in Germany. Continue. These are possible sponsors. Some of them we've already contacted with. Some of them have already given a general interest. Okay, so it's looking good, but let's keep hoping that it all goes on smoothly, because we only have a year to plan, which usually is double the time. Please continue. Our COVID strategy is hard to grasp right now, because in Germany the laws change, let's say in, I don't know, a monthly basis. And it really depends on the situation in the summer, which is usually better than in the winter, experience-wise, but yeah, we can't guarantee, but there will be testing opportunities. There will be a lot of cities where people have private homes, so if somebody needs to go to quarantine, there's an option there as well. And yeah, we will keep you informed about that as well. Our sustainability concept is we are really pushing people who are from Europe or the close regions to choose the less carbon emitting form of transport, which is possibly like train, depending on where you come from. And we want to go a mainly vegetarian diet, except for some venison and some events. You are still free to buy all the meat you want to eat in the stores. It will just not be provided by us. So yeah, that's the strategy, but there will also be like a ticking box at the application. Please continue. So yeah, this is our preliminary schedule. It's really not that detailed. It's just a general idea of what the different stations and different days could offer. And it's obviously subject to changes. I think we changed it already like 3 times over, so it's just an idea, and we will be perfecting the experience from everything we've learned from this year's OC and through communicating with others, and yeah, just keeping this constant exchange of ideas flowing. Yeah, so now I'm going to show you some places we're going to go. This is our national park in Harz near Göttingen. It's a lot of the spruce are dying. You have to 3 clicks per. Just do more. So this is going to be interesting from a reforestation-wise, because as you can see, all the spruce is basically dying because of the bark beetle. Next slide. It's always 3. So we have one of the largest beech forests in Germany that we're going to visit. It's really beautiful, old trees, 100, 200, 300 years. With a canopy path, we're going to go to the Baltic Sea. At some point, maybe for relaxation. As I said, it's not really anything set in stone yet. We're going to see wetlands. We're going to see forest fire prevention centers with technology like thermal cameras. We're going to and we're obviously going to visit our other associations that we're associated with in Bonn and pay them a visit there, as well as some companies like sawmills, veneer, LVL producers, all that. Yes. Obviously, there's also going to be the German cities. We have Berlin, obviously, and we have the beautiful city. This is Göttingen, by the way, with the beautiful traditional German housing. I hope you're stoked for that. There are going to be at least 1 or 2 tours through that a little bit, sharing the history. All right. And yeah, we have a lot, as I said, we have a lot of research. You probably maybe learned about Karl Karlowitz on the left. He's a big historian, forestry, and we have some inventions that came from, I think they're actually both from Göttingen, but yeah, from the German forestry sector. Thank you. I hope it wasn't too boring, and please ask all the questions you want.
The mic.
What's roughly the length of the whole trip in kilometers?
I don't have that right now. Let me do a quick calculation. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I would say maybe somewhere in between 15 and 20,000 kilometers, but I'm not sure. So it's gonna be a long trip, but we placed the dates and the activities.
No, 1,500 and 2,000.
No, yeah, sorry, yes, 1,500. Sorry, it's been a long night, you all know that. So yeah, 1,500, and we're gonna have it spaced out so there's no longer drives than maybe 5 hours and 1 day, and the rest will be split up. Any other questions? None. Okay, then yeah, thank you, and I hope you're stoked. I hope we will see many of you and your friends who haven't been at an international event in Germany. And yeah, keep the spirit up, keep spreading the good word. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you so much for the presentation, and of course we all look forward to IFSS in Germany, and yeah, hope to see most of you also there. Yep. So, next point. The IFSS strategy. So now we have the open mic session, and I'm giving the word to Simone. You want this?
We need another
Technical break.
2 minutes. Can you read here?
Yes.
We can, or if you cannot read, we can look to me. Just keep it. To get the okay. I don't think I got a bunch of And I just no.
I will bring my mouse.
So, people, can you hear me? Can you somehow read here? So what we are going to do now is to go over the strategy, because we didn't have enough time the other JS session when we actually went in the strategy. But now we have the new strategy, so I want to give you an overview of the strategy. What is there, why it's there, and what can we make it happen. So I will just scroll through the document so we really see the document. So we have some introduction on what is a strategy, how it works, this very, very important page, which is the strategy implementation, so how the strategy should be implemented. We want to have a work plan at the beginning of the term and then a report at the end of the term, so we make sure that the strategy is actually followed. And this is a, I would say, important slide as well. This is the strategy structure. So I would see the strategy has 4 levels. So we have goals, which are general aims that we want to do as IFSA. Also, maybe 2 steps back. What is a strategy? Why do we have a strategy? So the strategy has, let's say, 2 purposes. The first one is to do some long-term planning about IFSA. We are an association IFSA. We have a statute, yes, but the statute is very vague. It's like 2 lines. We want to say, what do we actually want to do with IFSA? And so this is a statement for us and for the people to know what we are doing as IFSA as an association, and to provide some kind of long-term planning. So what is going to happen in maybe in 2 years, like which is direction we are moving as IFSA. And the other thing is, the other goal of the strategy is to be able to actually monitor this progress, because IFSA changes a lot, but with the indicators, we're really trying to collect data about IFSA and collect this in a consistent way. For example, an indicator is how many people participated to IFSA events, and so we can see how many delegations there were, and since we can collect data, we can see how IFSA is going over time. So those are the 2 main goals of the strategy. Is a somehow very ambitious project, but I trust the new board can make this happen because we need to really start implementing it and see how it goes. Also, the strategy goes for 4 years, but there is going to be a review in 2 years, so we see how that works and we can update stuff. And I want to talk about the structure of the strategy. So we have goals, we have 3 goals, which are the general aims of IFSA. Then we have sub-goals, which are still like what we want to achieve. This is a sub-goal. For example, we want to increase youth representation. We want to strengthen the connection between forest and students. This is a sub-goal. And then we have action points. And action points are categories of activities. For example, if you want to strengthen the connection between forest and students, you can organize events like IFSS. And then but the action is still not overly specific. It's not like how many IFSS you do in Chile, is how many events like an IFSS you're doing. And then for each indicator, for each action point, there is at least 1 indicator to measure that action, how much we are doing of that action. So this is the idea of the strategy. And what I want to do now is to go through the points to discuss a bit what they are. Also, please do interrupt me at any point and ask questions. I want to have this as interactive process because I know the strategy, but probably you want to ask questions. The only thing, if you want to ask questions, remember the touch. Perfect. So we can move on to goal 1, strengthen the IFSA community. I think this is kind of a self-explanatory. And we have the expand the IFSA network as the first sub-goal, which is as the action point is to increase the membership globally, and we want to we want to showcase, identify LC projects. As we can see the awards today. And the second sub-goal is to promote IFSA events. So, yeah, events in general, both statutory meetings, which are like, for example, IFSS regional meetings, stuff that has to happen every year, but also like regional and LC level. Especially, we want to put focus on LC-led events because I think there is a lot of potential in having LCs organizing smaller events, which are way easier to organize, but still we can do a lot of them, and then we can still really support IFSA network. And we are not scrolling anymore. What's going on? Yeah. Another sub-goal is to enhance the collaboration in the IFSA community. So both we want to promote interaction between IFSA members, so we can do projects like pen polls or the treehouse, all this idea where we want to have like more IFSA members connecting on a personal level. We want to do the same with officials because having a group of officials that work well together is the only way to have an IFSA. Otherwise, IFSA is not going to work. If we don't have these 50 people that are running the association and they can communicate well together. And we still have the scrolling, which is thinking. And the last sub-goal is about digital communication. And we have like our communication platforms that we want to make them better, of course. We want to share news on the IFSA network, which is like very important, I would say. Actions. Develop the IFSA website, and we want to have a podcast as well. That's like those are like in the sub goal, increase digital communication, because we think this is like one of the strategic area of where IFSA should invest on, because we love in-person meetings. After 2 weeks of IFSS, you know how cool it can be to meet in person with people, but you also know how complex it is to organize an FSS, how hard it is to travel, how hard it is to be inclusive. You see the regional participation here at FSS. I think it's a really good example of like that having in-person meeting is hard. So if we can enhance our digital channels, we can be more inclusive, get more people involved, and maybe also have more in-person meeting at the end. This is the goal 1. No, I'm sorry. We're missing the last sub-goal, which is strengthening equality and inclusivity. So I said hybrid events. We have advanced gender equality, which is something that as IFSA we are trying to invest a lot lately because we really think we can make a change as a student association. And also regional representation. Then we have goal 2, which is take the learning beyond the classroom. This super fancy title, which basically like summarizes to what, or at least the core of activities, like what CDC is doing, the Capacity Development Commission, so provide opportunities for IFSA members to improve their learning. This is like, I would say also, the goals of the strategy reflect also which are the 3 main things that IFSA is doing. Like the first thing is being a network. The second thing is to provide learning opportunities to members. And the last one is to represent youth in international context and provide access to this all international policy world. We can go again here on take learning beyond the classroom. If this is going to scroll, why is it not going to scroll? Okay. So we have 2 main sub-goals here. One is enhance soft skills and personal development. Again, with workshops and tree learning, which is our e-learning platform on IFSA, on the website, where we want to put some short content, which is tailored for students. That there is a ton of content available online, but we want to make this ready list on something that can actually be useful for students and make short videos. We already have a few courses up there. Check them out. And so this is where we're going to put our content, plus organize workshops in general. Then the second part is like more the forestry part of the education, which is still like very important. I say forestry is a very diverse worldwide, and talking about different kind of forestry can be very helpful. I mean, we are not a university, but we want to promote opportunities to to learn about forestry. And again, same structure, through learning, workshops. And the other one is the networking and cultural experience. So we want to increase the providing opportunity for our members by simply connecting them, which is something so simple. One of them is the mentorship program. Then we want to have cultural exchanges. And I guess this is the last one, is prepare students for employment opportunities. Again, that's learning something to take the learning beyond the classroom, which is also something that as much university are always trying to catch up. I think something that IFSA is really uniquely positioned to do, to really help people to get into the world of working, but to just by learning new skills, because like being in IFSA is an amazing learning experience, but also by giving you connection to other students, connection to potential employers, and we want to do more of this, as you can see in the old strategy. Also, we would like all this as well, like so, yeah. Capacity building on employment, internships, opportunities, and this is the goal too. Questions, comments, anything you want to share? No one wants the mic. The last goal is, again, fancy words with enable students to engage globally. This is basically the external department, all the engagement we do at IFSA with other international organizations, and about providing youth the opportunity to engage in these processes, which is, again, something that IFSA is uniquely positioned to do. Like, as a student, like, in many international contexts, IFSA is basically the only way in, or at least make it very much easier. So yeah, and we have IFSA engagement at international events. No, so I think the first sub goal is like, even though like IFSA is a no political organization, we end up in being this like interesting situation where we are the youth in the rooms, and so we want to advocate for youth interest in many contexts. And so again, IFSA, as by connecting all 40 students, can somehow represent students, and so we want to make sure that we're actually doing this and try to improve the spaces, opportunities where we can actually share or advocate for the interests of youth in this international policy sector, both at international events, in decision-making processes. IFSA is an observer in few decision-making processes where we can contribute our inputs. Another important thing is just like to go to international events, otherwise you don't see what's happening. So we want to promote both in-person delegations and online delegations, which not only IFSA, but all the world is getting hybrid in the last 3 years. So online delegation, also for who you don't know, a delegation is when IFSA goes to another event organized by usually a partner. So we have, 5 people going there, and we call this a delegation. So a group of students going to an international event to learn what's going on there, to represent youth and IFSA. And we want to do both in person, which is a very important way, but also online, because I say online has a lot of advantages. And we want to share also something very important is to share what is happening at these events, because those events will always be limited, but we want to convey as much information as we can to IFSA members. For example, I think everyone of you heard about COP, this UNFCCC conference. This year was in Glasgow, and there is a huge youth movement for climate change, but there is little forestry-focused content. So I think, for example, there is a lot of opportunity to, like, okay, we as forestry students, we go to a climate conference and we see what's interesting for forestry students in a climate conference. And we are the only one that can do it, basically. And we want to, there we are going to have 5 people. There are limited logistical limitations, but if we can get the main concept and share outside, we can really reach everyone. And I think, again, this is the last one, is to communicate global opportunities, because just sharing news is very important from partners, sharing news from partners. And we also, starting this year, we have a calendar on the IFSA website with all the relevant events from the forestry sector, so you can know what's happening, when it's happening. Maybe you have someone from IFSA going there, so this is the idea. And this is the strategy. We still have some stuff here, which is this SWOT analysis, which I think is a very interesting way of thinking about IFSA. So which are the strengths and the weaknesses of IFSA, but also which are the opportunities and the threats that are for IFSA at the moment. So this is like, it's very interesting to see how it was very similar. We basically, 80% of this was from the previous strategy, because stuff didn't change as much in the last 4 years. There were some changes, but still, like, IFSA in a similar situation. And I think it's very important to remember, I mean, in IFSA we have, at the same time, we do so many amazing things, but at the same time we have so huge issues, and the world is changing, but we can keep going. And I think it's important in a document like strategy to kind of make everyone think, okay, where we are at IFSA. And this is actually the last page of the strategy. I think we need to fix the formatting here because there is no page numbers. But it's like 23 pages, as you can see, so it's a good document. But we really try to make it as accessible as possible to everyone to read it, because if we have a strategy, like, if we do like up in the previous strategy, we have the strategy and we keep it in a drawer or a Google Drive file, and when one opens it, we don't need a strategy. So the idea is to try to make this document accessible, even though it's always a bit hard because you need to, it's always a long document thinking about the long-term planning of IFSA, which is already IFSA is complex, and when you make long-term planning of IFSA, it's like way too much. But we can try our best. And I think it's important that everyone can find it, read it, understand it is there, where we want to move as IFSA. And also, we're trying to have these work plans and indicators, so hopefully at the next IFSS, we're going to have numbers for each of these indicators, so you can really see how IFSA is going, and maybe in 5 years, we can see how IFSA has been evolving over time. Because IFSA is always changing, as someone from the back of the room can tell us. And that's it from me here. Again, please ask questions, comments, anything.
I have one comment to the indicators. As you might know, in the current strategy, there are 14 indicators, and it didn't help us with monitoring. But and now we have like 74. So you might ask, like, if those 14 didn't work, how can we make this 74 work, and like why to add those many indicators? And one of the reasons was that there was no clear, like the indicators were very separated from the goals and like from the strategy itself, and it was not clear who should monitor it and when and how. And that's for which we also write the guidebook, how to monitor, where it will be clear who is responsible, like one person who is responsible for each indicator, and how exactly it should be monitored and when. And also, as Simone said, each action point has at least one indicator. So like it's clear that which indicator serves for monitoring what and who monitors it and how. And this is how we hope that we will make it work.
Thanks. Yes.
Who is responsible for the monitoring process? Who is responsible for the monitoring process?
It depends. Like I say, like each indicator, as we are still developing this detailed monitoring guide. So for each indicator, we want to understand exactly what do we want to measure exactly. Because when you say we want to measure how many events, IFSS events we do, it sounds very easy. But then you need to figure out what's an IFSS event, what's not an IFSS event, and there we want to make clear who is going to be responsible. Is, for example, if it's we want to know how many page viewers are going to be on social media, probably is going to be the head of communication responsibility. If we want to do, if we need to collect data about like gender diversity of delegation, it's going to be the head of delegation responsibility. And also, we're trying to understand like which are the points where we want to collect data. For example, after an event, after a conference, at the end of the term, and make sure that we get all the data for indicators we need. So it depends. And then, of course, the board is ultimately responsible to get a strategy, to draft the work plan, and the final report for the year.
Is there going to be a design for the strategy like it was for the previous one? Because I feel like
maybe. Let's see. We need to talk with the design magic people in IFSA.
Okay.
We are still missing a forward to the strategy, but I say like the core thing is the content that we agreed on it. We maybe can answer design. Let's see, but that's not what is.
I think it's not important, but like I think it makes it easier to read when you don't have 22 pages of block of text like for people. Yeah.
Absolutely. We need to talk with the design people here.
Who's writing the minutes?
We are recording this event, and also there's no real minutes to take at the moment because we are just presenting the results and the strategy. So this last GS, we are also doing this GS session offline only, and then uploading the recording because like we have like big logistical issues. But this is like I say, the second and the third GS sessions are the real GS sessions where you have take the biggest decision. Here is very important to communicate and share what's going on in IFSA. But if it happens now in 5 hours or in 2 days, doesn't really matter. Like I think for the GA minutes, it's very important to keep track of the decisions, and yet there is no decision made. Anyone else? Comments? Opinion, thoughts? Otherwise, we are going to move to the next part, which is the open mic. So you will have to talk. No, one last thing about the GA. Sorry. One last thing about the strategy is that like this has been like a huge team effort. So we had like I think 15 people in the strategy task force, and we worked here for several months. We started collecting input at interim, and got something done in July. So I also want like to I'm here presenting here this, but it's gonna be like a huge team effort in getting this strategy working, and so I want to thank them, everyone that contributed to the strategy, and hope we're going to have a nice indicators working.
Thank you so much, Simone. Like you mentioned, it has been a huge team effort. So it's really important if you pass on this information to your local committees and show exactly how IFSA works, what is our impact and how we can improve it. So now we are moving to open mic session. So open mic session is the place where you can share whatever you would like. So anyone wants to take a word?
With a focus on next year. So
Yeah, with a focus on the next IFSA year. It can be a reflection from IFSS and what you would wish to see in the next IFSA year, and yeah. So anyone wants to comment? No. No. It can be something very short also. Yes.
Merch.
Yes.
that's exactly what we want to hear.
Yeah.
Like, just in this way.
Yeah.
Can you elaborate a tiny bit more what you mean? What? Does everyone know what match means? Merch.
Merch. Yeah.
Like it's a t-shirts, sweaters, flags, pants, and so on.
And what is the problem with this? It's like everyone is laughing about it, but why?
The problem is that like what we would like to do is to set up a shop where you can order. So we have logistical issues, so we want to set up a way that people can order and print stuff and get shipped because we can handle this at IFSA. But if we want to then sell stuff, we need to pay taxes and then so we need to understand how this taxes stuff works. And this has been a project that's been going on for 3 years at least. I remember 3 years ago discussing about this, but at IFSA there is always so many things going on that this, of course, it never had the top priority. It's always got deprioritized.
But because I mean there are so many like YouTubers and Instagram people, and they just I don't know. I think there are like people who are specialized in providing the service. You know.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a trivial thing to do. It's not impossible, but it just takes time.
Yeah. You have other stuff. Yeah, of course. Yeah, I see. Okay.
And when you have to write an Erasmus proposal, probably you don't want to work on the strategy on the merchandise.
Yeah.
Merchandise to commission.
Yeah.
Was there someone before me? Johanna?
Yeah, thanks. I kind of don't have a very plan for the next IFSA term. I kind of just hope that we can somehow enhance the communication between the local and the global scale. And I feel like the strategy is doing a very big part in this, so thank you for explaining it. And I hope this is going to somehow help with the gap that might be between LCs and the officials, which I don't feel that much anymore after talking to all you nice people, but just keep in mind that there's a lot going on the local level, and yeah. Thanks for a great IFSS.
My idea for the next term would be to maybe develop some sort of sustainability strategy for IFSA events. So do's and don'ts, you sort of like some guidelines on how the event should be made more sustainable. So regarding the use of plastic or the diet and so on, so that we don't have some events where we are eating out of plastic plates every day, or yeah, just something that every OC should have access to and see what we as IFSA want to communicate in regards to sustainability at the event.
Actually, one of my ideas for the next term is to create guidebook for the OC of regional meetings. So that's a point we can include there.
Yes, but I think for the regional meetings, there is a lot of information already to include, because I think the OCs are not like aware. Many of them are not attending. I think we can include it for sure, but also maybe it doesn't apply to FSS, for an example, because it's just for regional meetings and also for unofficial meetings and so on. So maybe having it there, but also separately would be good.
I would love to see something like that in the ROPs maybe, or like a bit more set in stone, not like a strategy that is somewhere on a drive and nobody really is fostered to do it, but really somewhere set in stone that we really need to take care of that.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that, but also that I think we need to have a better process of being involved in organizing any events. So if there is an event being organized, being IFSS, regional meeting, unofficial meeting, we need to give them all of the information. So, hey, you applied. Okay, you get this package of guideline for how to organize a meeting, guideline for system building, so on. Like, not just let them do whatever and not know what they're getting themselves into, but we already have a prepared package of information you need to organize the event.
Kind of building on that, me and Makjek, the other Northern European regional representative, we spoke, and I think after an in-person event, we all have that like IFSS spirit in us, and we all like really want to get involved, and it just helps sort of keep everything alive and ticking over. So we want to make it our mission to make it easier for people to have in-person events that are smaller, just like more local. And as part of that, yeah, we were thinking to put together something simple which could be sent round, like here's like 101 on how to pull together a quick event. Could be just a couple of LCs, but yeah. So that's something that we're planning to do for the next term. Hopefully get all of you guys, well, and everyone else in IFSA together in person more often. So.
I suppose I'm just wondering, as a new LC, where would you recommend I start, I suppose? Kind of with regards setting up the kind of like the president, treasurer, that kind of thing, and then kind of going about getting kind of activities going and things like that in the group, if anyone could. Any recommendations?
Yes.
I can send you a document on it or thing.
My recommendation would be to first contact with the regional representatives, since they know most of the information about the local committees, and you can also consider contacting like older LCs that has already a lot of events organized, be in contact with them and like learn from their experience, and that would be the best way to start, I think. Want to?
And also the closest LC, which actually in this case is also your regional representative.
Yeah.
I would say make sure you talk to your dean or professors and make sure that you have people in your faculty behind you that can kickstart you a bit as well, and then go talk in lectures that are first related to motivate people to join you and stuff like that. Yep.
And on these, we also have some membership packages that after we took us like almost 3 years, but we have done the text. We are on the process of uploading it on the website. So this contains like a starter package of NLC with all it's like 10 pages, so not too long, but still like give you the idea of what to do, suggestion of activities, and how to organize stuff. And also I know that for next time one of the plans is to prepare some like presentation about IFSA, so you can have a nice video or a presentation about IFSA that you can share. And as Sarah said, like I think talking to students and to like making sure that people at the university know what is IFSA and get a bit hype about IFSA, that's what you need to do. Then all the rest comes on its own. And on this IFSA can help a bit.
Yep.
Oh yeah. Thank you everyone for that. Just I know there's a couple other new LCs here as well, so I'm glad to get that kind of information. Just on the website, it's kind of difficult kind of looking at it where to start, so a presentation or something that would be amazing.
And I suppose just an idea that popped into my head was with like the sub goals, how I know that sometimes you base like your activity around like the 17 sustainability goals and kind of that way, and maybe in your LC you could base it around one of the sub goals or something maybe as an activity. I just thought I'd put that out there if some of them work as an activity.
Maybe as a final recommendation, like we started as LC in Santiago, where we were like 3 people, and no one knew about IFSA. And the thing that was more helpful for us was taking a responsibility. I wouldn't recommend to take IFSS at once, but maybe some other event, so you get like motivation to other people, like to say, it's not like join IFSA, it has all these things. It's like join IFSA because we got to organize this at this time, and you have like a clear goal of what you want to reach. So you can like share this dream with other members, and it can grow faster and make you work on time and stuff. And like taking a responsibility will, I think, for us helped a lot.
Any other input? No?
As Simone mentioned the membership packages, we have 3 of them, and one of them is for newly approved LCs that we send to the LCs that are newly approved. And it's also good for the newly reactivated LCs that already exist, but they were like not active before. And there are some like useful information, some tips, some opportunities. And so if you want, you can talk with your RRs or with me, and we can send it to you. And now it's actually worked to put it on the website, but we already have it. So if anyone want to, we can send it to you in PDF.
Any other input? No? Okay, so we can move on with the next inputs, like if you have anything else to share for the for plans for the new IFSA term.
Yeah, this is not for the new IFSA term. It's actually totally disconnected, so maybe if you want to go first. Yeah, so as some of you might already know, Elif's mom, she creates different nice stuff from, how it's called?
Like amigurumi?
Yeah, like different things like this. You could already buy some at the auction. And this one is a very special Groot, because it was the first baby Groot that Elif's mom made and gave it to Elif. And Elif was traveling with it and put hashtags on Instagram with Groot Travels. And this February, at interim, she decided to put it to IFSA auction, this first one. And together with Simone, we bought this one. And our deal was that I will have it until IFSS. I was traveling now with it these 7 months in 7 countries, also put hashtag with Groot Travels. And so now it's the time for the baby Groots to travel some more. So this is for you, Simone.
With a baby Groot. You should both hold an arm.
Agustin, one second.
Mine, more than a plan or anything for next term, I would like to try and encourage everyone to apply to the development fund, because we never complete, so we have a lot of money allocated there. We have to maintain our NGO status and everything, and we have a lot of money and we don't know sometimes in what to use it. We allocate it for development fund or those kind of things, but people don't go for that money even though it's there. So if you have any idea, thought in your head, or you want to organize any activities, please go for it and and try and use the opportunity that IFSA is actually promoting and building for all of you. Like, take advantage of the opportunities that they are giving.
Related to that, I would suggest for next year to keep passing the opportunity. If the first person that allocated the funds couldn't participate at the end, well, call the second person and make sure that that money gets out instead of being like, oh, they couldn't, so we keep it. So yeah, just because there's a lot of people that still apply and didn't get it, and then, yeah, you know what I mean. So that's a suggestion for next year.
And if I can add here, we have the development fund at the moment works that there is like always open call that ends every month. So the form is always open. You can apply at any moment. This is, I think, was a huge improvement compared to how the development fund worked previously. So if you have an idea, do apply. Application will be assessed at the end of each month. So, and also funds will be allocated at each month. We have 70% of the money available in development fund is allocated monthly, so divided for each month, and 25% is extra funds to fund a like bigger project that the board decide, okay, that's a very cool project, we want to give some extra money. So the idea is like, it's also a bit hard to advertise because it's always there, so remember it's there. There is this open call, should be complete enough in explaining how it works, what we fund, what we don't fund, and yeah, especially if you have ideas as LNCs, please do apply there, or it's pretty broad. You can apply, worst case you get rejected. Also the application is not that difficult. We try to make like, I think you need to write 500 words in total, and a budget. We want to try to make it smooth, the process. And also other things like, please apply in time because it makes everything much easier. So if you have an event in July, think about applying now. So you have the money, it's clear, it's set up, the money is there for you. Yeah. And thanks, Agustin, for sharing the point. I think it's very important. And at the moment, we have like a lot of money there, so take it.
IFSA.net/development-fund.
Yeah, exactly. We missed the QR code.
Any other? Okay. I can have one input. Actually, this year we started the Commission's guidelines, but with a lot of other works, we didn't manage to finish it with the heads of commissions. So it would be really good to continue working on that next year, especially like running a commission can be really hard with a lot of subcommissions. So having these guidelines also for subcommissions would be very helpful. And also, like, when you're experienced in IFSA, you don't realize the basic things you know. So it's always good to have a document explaining for a new official what's like, for example, a concept note for event, or like just any simple thing that can be explained. Yeah, that would be nice. So, any other input? I guess not. No? Okay. So before we conclude the GA, we have the carbon assessment form. But why am I using this? I have a mic. So Johannes will send you the link. Please take like 10 minutes of your time here and try to fill in this form in order to assess the carbon emissions for traveling to IFSS. So, yeah.
Yes. Hey everyone. You're super tired, looking super hangover. So let's make a really quick activity, yeah, so that you get a bit active. So please all stand up and raise your hands. Come on. Stand up, raise your hands. Yes, good. Feel like a tree in the wind. Yes, good. go to the ground, touch the floor.
Yes.
Very good. And then shake your whole body a bit.
Do you want you? Sure.
We just finished it right now.
Ah, okay, okay.
Because the internet connection was
Nice. Okay, I'm awake again.
Link to Simone, or
So
then
I hope I have your attention a bit. As Elif said, we are trying to collect our carbon emissions. We are doing that since 2019.
I have a USB.
Since the IFSS, we are collecting mostly the IFSS, but also regional meetings and other meetings like the COP26 and so on. I also prepared a short presentation, but I think you don't have a lot of energy left, so we will leave it at that. I have, I will send you a link, and I have a list of all the participants, and I will bother you so hard, and everyone needs to fill that form, okay? Everyone. I will bother all of you. And so we really know what we emit and can work on that and try to reduce it for the next time. Thank you very much.
Can I add something quickly? Yeah, I just wanted to say that during the second GA maybe, or during that day, I don't know, we were supposed to have a workshop, and at the end of the workshop we had planned to include something, but because we didn't have the projector or anything, it didn't make sense, and I think there wasn't like a presentation. But I wanted to really give a shout out to Hugo. I don't know if you've seen his Instagram, but he has been making posts every single day from IFSS, and he has been making these educational posts about what we have learned at IFSS and was really doing what we are all saying that we should do, communicating what we have learned here to our home country and to our LC. And he was really doing that. He was writing everything we have learned and including photos and stuff. And actually I can maybe pass my phone around if any of you want to see. And actually I forgot to include it in this presentation. I'm sorry, Yuko, but yeah, maybe if anyone wants to see, you can take my phone, and here are the cool slides that he was making. So thank you, Yuko, for doing that. I think all of us should have been doing the same, or I hope in the future we will also do that.
Okay, while the form is on its way, so now we can finally conclude the last GA. Thank you so much for sticking until now, even though like everyone is super hangover. I hope you enjoyed and you learned new information about IFSA throughout all the sessions, and hopefully pass on the information to your local committees. So thank you. So here's a picture from our last board meeting, and opening the new IFSA term with
Sure. We went to get in the direction as well.
Yeah, we can take our direction. And Simon.
Yeah, you'll have plenty of time today for us.
Claudio,